30 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And even the kids don't even eat cake now.
Did you not make him a birthday cake recently?
No, I know what you're referring to. His 50th birthday cake. Yeah, he got Colin the Caterpillar.
You can't beat a Colin.
Have you done celebrity cakes?
Well, not celebrity, but I did 10 years ago or even longer. I think I was doing a lot of work for BBC for EastEnders.
Oh, right.
So one of my coolest cakes, I think, was a replica of the Queen Vic pub. And this,
I think I saw that.
And it was a big, the colours and everything, and Barbara Windsor sort of standing behind.
No way!
So that was pretty cool.
You did that cake?
Yeah.
I remember that cake.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was quite funny. I was so proud of the cake. It was beautiful because it was my first cake was going to be on telly.
Yeah.
So I did all the intricate flowers in the flower baskets, and they said it was too good because one of the other characters on the
We're going to smash it?
No, was supposed to have made it, so I couldn't look too professional. So I got these flower baskets and went like this in my hands and just put them back on and again. It broke my heart.
Welcome to Wedding Mayhem, episode 14. Why are you laughing?
You never count long enough.
I did count. Please tell me I counted in
Hello,
time.
it's Sharon!
Welcome to Wedding Mayhem, and it is episode 14. Can you believe it?
I can.
Because you can count to
I can.
14.
It's been a journey.
It's been a journey. Thanks, guys, for all the subscribes. We are...
But we need more.
Yeah, we need more. We need more. We're ahead of everybody else, but we still need more. You can introduce our guests? Because I obviously can't speak.
You do it.
You will speak. So welcome to Erica from Ice Innovations. And then another person I've known for a long time.
It has been a long time.
It's like the Friends show, isn't it?
How long has it been?
Oh, my God.
Well, how long have you been married?
Which
Which
one?
time?
Okay, sorry.
Have you done more than one cake for Sharon? Wedding?
No, only one.
No,
only one. Yeah.
That's 10
so
years.
far.
Lovely, John. It's coming up for 10 years next year.
Yeah, but I've been doing wedding cake. I've been running Ice Innovations for 18 years.
Yeah, so we've been going 22 years.
Yeah, so
I must have seen Oatlands Park Hotel was the first show that I met you at.
Yeah,
So
and
it must
that's probably 15 years ago.
Yeah,
So,
when was your first wedding show?
Oh God, I can't remember.
Who am I?
It's kind of just evolved.
So, what made you go into cakes? Have you always done wedding cakes?
No, I started off doing birthday cake. It started actually almost exactly 30 years ago when I was inspired by my wedding cake.
Right.
That my husband's aunt made for us.
Oh.
And I was just blown away by what you can do in sugar, so I wanted to learn. So then I was in South Africa then, and the first thing I did when I...
So what was your wedding cake like?
It was a 2-tiered cake, really, really old-fashioned, really pretty, but really old-fashioned now, 30 years later.
Yeah.
All little ruffles round, and then sugar flowers and gypsophilia and stuff.
And she made all those?
Yeah, it was
Thanks for the
beautiful.
help, but I can do better
now. Beautiful. I credit her all the time for getting me started. So the first thing I did when we moved to the UK, almost 28 years ago now, was enroll in a class in night school in Putney.
Oh, right, okay.
So I did a 12-week class
were
or something.
you a baker before?
I was going to say, could you do anything? Like how...
Because your
far
cakes are insane.
In my previous life, I was a lab scientist.
No
I worked
way.
at Curtis Hospital in the TB laboratory for 10 years. And then when I first moved to the UK, I worked at St Thomas's Hospital in the microbiology and the virology laboratories.
Oh, my
Is that as in
God.
Guys in St Thomas?
Yeah.
I used to work at Bupa, so I know.
Yeah, so I
all
just
the
swapped one
hospitals in
white
the
coat. So I just swapped one white
good
coat for
one.
another one.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. So what was the transition from lab to kitchen?
Babies.
Babies. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so I stopped work
Yeah.
when my daughter was born in 98.
Right.
And just been working in a different way. And so I started off doing kids' birthday cakes and christening cakes and 25th wedding anniversary cakes for all my friends.
Friends, okay.
Friends, yeah.
And then realised
And
that
then
you were exceptionally good.
When it sort of carried on from there and built from there. And then about 3 years ago, I switched from doing all the birthday cakes and things like that to doing pretty much exclusively wedding cakes now.
What was your first wedding cake? Can you remember?
My first wedding cake was really bad. It was a square cake.
Listen, you've got to start somewhere.
Somebody gave me a picture about this size in a magazine, and it was pink with little bows on it, and it was only about this tall, but really big square. So proportionally, it was just so awful. And on pillars like you had in that day. So that would have been in about 1996. No, the first wedding cake I did was my sister's wedding cake.
Right.
and it took me about 2 days just to cover the cake in icing in marzipan and sugar paste icing, and then I just had some. It looked beautiful, actually. It was a lovely cake. It had all the brush embroidery on it and everything, and fresh camellias and things. So,
yeah. What was the cake?
I can't remember. It was probably fruitcake in those days.
Is fruitcake still the go-to?
More and more. In the last couple of years, it's got a little bit more popular, but I'd say most 99% of the cakes I do don't have fruitcake.
Right.
So I think my mum's still got a tier of her wedding cake, which
We've
I'm
still got
guessing
one in
is
the fridge.
fruitcake.
Yeah.
Because you're meant to use it at your child's christening. They didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because is it just
Especially-
like
Do you know why?
forever?
Do you know why that?
Oh, God.
Why they do that?
Why, Erica?
So, in Victorian time, in times of austerity, they used to have the really, really big wedding cake.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to have another huge, big, elaborate cake for the child's first christening, which normally came within a year. So they kept the top tier of the wedding cake.
For the christening cake.
Christening. So it was a money-saving
A
thing.
fruitcake lasts, doesn't it? You know.
I love how optimistic they are about how quick they're going to get pregnant and get a child and
'cause
everything.
Well, they did in
Yeah.
those days.
They
Mad, isn't it?
yeah, they withheld until the wedding day.
Yeah, so babies were born 9 months
Hormones and
later.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So that's one little quirk information about
Yeah.
why you keep the top tier of the
Do
christening
you know
cake.
the history behind, why a wedding cake at a wedding?
So wedding cakes date back to about the Roman times, and they used to sort of pile up buns and little bread rolls and things, and they used to kiss over the rolls, and they used to fall to the floor, and that used to symbolise fertility. And it also and the wedding cake also is just feeding each other. Wedding cake means that you look after each other and make sure that you're never without.
Is that why at
love to
weddings
be fed a bread
you
roll.
feed each other the cake?
Yes.
So people don't realise that it is a tradition.
It's so symbolistic, there's so much symbolism in a wedding cake and the tradition and everything. Another one is I've forgotten now my train of thought. Forget that.
We'll come back to it.
I like the bread roll idea.
Bread rolls.
Yeah. And also
Day
the reason
long.
why the importance of cake cutting ceremony.
Yeah, why?
It's the first thing you do, the first task you perform together as man and wife.
Right.
Is actually physically cutting through your wedding cake. And
Yeah.
traditionally it was all the hard icing. So you cut through all the hardness of meeting each other and all the hard crap that goes on in life.
Yeah,
Am I allowed to say
that comes after marriage.
Yeah. And then
starting fresh
and then all
and-
the soft, gushy, soft, lovely sweetness inside.
Oh.
That's just
I
quite
remember
sweet.
my mum and dad got married when I was 1, and I used to watch their wedding video all the time. My nan used to have the tape under her little telly. She'd have her little videos.
The VHS tapes.
Yeah, I watched it, and they really struggled to cut their cake. And my dad was going, so he was like, bit of a Londoner. He was like, "Go on, girl," like that, and they're both like laughing and trying to cut their cake together.
Because it was all in those days as well. It was all royal icing, which sets really, really hard. You've got to put a little bit of glycerine into the royal icing to make it soft.
So is it
you can
what
actually cut
different?
through
Are
it.
there different types of icing?
Oh, loads of different types
Go on,
of
then.
ice cream. Oh gosh, okay. So
Interesting, huh?
traditionally it was royal icing, so there was sugar. Traditionally actually was just fat that they put over. They used to put it over the bread rolls to keep them fresher for longer.
Oh,
And then they started introducing.
You're hungry now, aren't you?
It tasted a little bit rubbish, so I used to add icing sugar to it to make it taste better, and that was the first royal icing. And then I think
And when we
it was
say royal icing, we are talking about royalty. Only the royalties have them.
so the reason then wedding cakes in Victorian times really upped their game is Victoria and Albert.
Albert, yeah.
So they took wedding cakes up a notch.
Well, from their wedding, actually,
It
that's
was
when
huge.
all
That's when
weddings
all went.
became massive.
Yes, absolutely. And it was the whiteness of the cake was how posh you were and how rich you were and how well off you were. So the whiter the cake, the more upmarket and luxurious a cake was. So that's the royal icing. They're all covered in marzipan. So it was traditionally the fruit cake covered in marzipan, and then the icing, the royal icing over the top, which is just icing sugar and egg white, which gives a really hard crust. So that was really difficult to cut into. So you just had a little bit of glycerine in there to make it soft.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's buttercream, it's
I love
ganache,
buttercream.
it's now the sugar paste icing as well. But my wedding cakes nowadays, it's not the thick wedding sugar paste you get in supermarket cakes, for example.
Oh, yeah.
I cover all my cakes in a white chocolate ganache, which gives you the sharp edges, which can be then sort of the sharp edges there. And that's your like big knickers of the cake, and then you roll
big knickers of the cake.
I love that.
keep everything all slipped in.
I love that
Would you use that on like a sponge, like a softer type of cake? So obviously a fruit cake is
hard,
heavy
base.
and it takes a lot. Yeah.
So then you roll the icing really, the sugar paste really, or fondant icing as it's often called. Yeah. That's a tradition.
But it's not difficult to manage.
Really, really thin. Really, really thin. It's the quality of the paste you use.
Right.
So,
okay.
The better quality, the stretchier it is, and everything. It's really expensive.
Yeah. And do you have to like work in certain temperatures and stuff like that? I can imagine working in heat waves. I've seen Bake Off.
Yeah.
Gosh.
That was 2 summers ago when it was 40 degrees.
I remember yours.
Thank goodness it was.
Was that lockdown?
No, it was post. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, and was really, really busy. And
it
was 40 degrees on the Monday and the Tuesday.
At night,
thank goodness.
really late at night.
I just changed my days.
My days you've done night shifts. Yeah.
But I did have one cake collapse. Luckily, it happened. I noticed 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The wedding wasn't until the next day.
Right.
So I just pulled the whole thing apart. Rang the bride to say she's having a polystyrene bottom tier. The cake, just in case it was because it was due to be really hot again the next day. So I rebaked the chocolate cake. Worked until stupid o'clock, but I had to do all the decoration. I didn't have time to bake and ice and cover and everything in 5 hours or something. I had to start piping. So she had just the bottom tier as polystyrene, and then so it looked absolutely
we were talking
fine.
about this earlier, and the boys were really fooled because that's not a real cake.
No, so. All for my dummy cakes, or the cakes I have for shows and that sort of thing are polystyrene because obviously they last longer.
Yeah.
But nowadays, if somebody wants a big cake but they only got a small number of guests, there's all sorts of things you can have dummy tiers or fake tiers and things like that.
What's the difference between a dummy tier and a fake tier?
So it's the same.
Okay.
But you can also have separators. So this one here is not even real. It's a new thing. It's a reeded separator by Prop Options,
right?
And they do them in gold, I think, and black, and they do them in different sizes. So you can have
you can have the grand cake.
That's a 3-tiered cake, but actually it looks like a 4-tier cake because you've got a dummy tier.
Yeah, because cakes are getting bigger. I've noticed this. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
And how does that work with transporting? Because you set up the cake, don't you?
So
on my wedding day, I didn't see you. They did literally put me into a room and there was the cake.
But because the decoration on your wedding cake, I couldn't assemble at the venue.
I was the girl with the picture saying, could you make me that? She went, yeah, but that's going to cost a lot of money, The cake was fine, but it was the decoration.
The decoration took ages.
Yeah.
So I'll take 2 tiers stacked up to a venue, but anything more I stack on site and actually finish decorating it on site.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, because cakes traditionally it used to be a 6-inch, a 9-inch, and a 12-inch was your standard size cake. Yeah. But cakes have sort of got massai now, and they've got really tall and skinny.
Oh, okay.
So you can't transport a cake like that because it would tend to topple.
Your heart must be in your mouth driving to these venues.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful. I hate it. I've been doing wedding cakes. I've been running my business for 18 years.
Yeah, and that's the worst part.
And it's the worst. I will never, ever get used to it. It's just... You drive on the motorway like a granny, and you drive home like a Ferrari driver. And you drive with your coats on and everything else to the venue, even if it's sort of 12 degrees.
Yeah.
You've still got your aircon on to keep everything nice and cold. Driving back, windows open, everything.
What's your worst cake to make if you have one?
Oh, red velvet.
Really?
It is the most overrated.
Why?
Sorry, anybody who likes red velvet, I'm sorry.
I don't know if I like it or not.
It's kind of
it's not claggy.
It's not a chocolate cake. It's not a vanilla cake. And every time I bake it looks like somebody's died in my kitchen.
That's like when I wash my hair in the bathroom. It looks like there's been a mass murder. It's everywhere.
Is this the dye?
It's red food colouring.
So you obviously can't bake other cakes while you're doing that kind of cake.
Oh, I can, but I just it gets everywhere. Yeah. Even if you think you've worked really cleanly, still somebody's been murdered in the kitchen.
Do you like cake yourself? If you go out, will you have,
Have you seen the side of my bum? Never trust a skinny cake maker.
Well, they say this about chefs, don't they? You know, it's yeah.
What's your favourite cake? If you had to pick one cake.
Sorry, can we just break to say that we've swapped mugs to
We're on the hard stuff.
Cheers onto the fizzy.
Cheers.
So you've bought us some fizzy. So note to all the guests coming on in future, please.
Well, you can't have cake without bubbles.
That's true. What is your favourite cake? If you had to have one cake.
I
on
love
the final day.
my ginger cake is lovely.
Oh, I love the ginger cake.
I don't think I've ever
really,
had ginger
really
cake.
yummy.
I like ginger cake on a Sunday after my run. Cup of tea.
Why
really
have I never
nice.
had a ginger cake?
You've never had a Cornish pasty?
I know. We're not all from Cornwall. Honestly. Sharon makes it out like it's like having a bread roll. I love a lemon. I used to hate lemon drizzle cake.
Oh, I love it.
I'd say
lovely.
the last
It's a
2
classic.
years, I'm obsessed with it.
What's the hardest cake to make?
Probably it's not hard, but it's just a faff is my carrot cake, because there's so many different ingredients in there, but it is lush. It's really yummy. It's my mum's
quite like
recipe,
carrot cake.
and I won't share the recipe with anybody.
Oh, have we got carrot cake in there?
No.
She's not sharing it. She's
not
I've got lemon drizzle in there though.
I've got a question.
just making that.
I've got a question, and I think I know the answer to this one. Vegan cake.
I do vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually
It's quite hard.
you can bake a pretty decent vegan sponge.
Yeah.
Obviously not as nice as a real sponge, real butter
real
and real
stuff.
everything.
Yeah.
But you can get some really tasty recipes now.
Yeah, because you can get vegan butter as well now.
Yeah,
That's
what's this
pretty good.
plant-based butter?
Yeah,
So, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's not, and with
It's a lot more expensive to bake though.
how much
So
more expensive?
I'd probably say an extra 25% because
Right.
I use different, just completely the whole reaction, the whole method of baking. That's my scientist background coming out.
Okay, yeah.
There's lots of different reactions of baking, and baking is a science. Cooking is a little glug of this and a pinch of this and a handful of this and that.
Chuck of that. Yeah.
Baking is very, very precise. If it says 200 grams, it's 200 grams.
Right.
And it says mix for 30 seconds, mix for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because if you overmix it, then the gluten forms and you don't get a nice fluffy sponge.
Right.
So
And you've obviously experimented over the times and that.
yeah, I just bake a good cake.
You made
Just top notch.
you made Bailey's cake for me.
Yes,
My
chocolate and
favourite
Baileys.
ever. John wants to know, is there any in there?
No.
No? Sorry, John.
That was a special bake. So
Do you make it anymore?
when asked,
Yeah.
so I'll bake
Oh,
everything.
It's great.
So I can't offer 50 different flavours on my
No.
menu. So I've vanilla sponge, Victoria sandwich.
Yeah.
It's
And plus
traditional.
also not everybody will eat it.
Yeah.
You know.
It's always a popular. Victoria sponge, vanilla sponge is always popular. Lemon sponge is always popular. So I do a lemon and elderflower, lemon and blueberry.
Oh, lemon and elderflower.
It's really lovely. You got that in there.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Then I do sort of twists on. So another one you asked about cakes earlier about my passion fruit is really, really lovely. It's a vanilla sponge, and then I do a homemade passion fruit curd and then a passion fruit buttercream, and it's lovely for summer weddings because it's really light and it's not over sweet or something. It's really, really lovely. And
So
then I do champagne and strawberry.
Do you do cheesecakes for weddings?
No.
So when couples come to you, and they have no idea, or they have all the ideas, what is your process for going through?
So I love to chat to them. So we start with a discovery call, and we just chat and get to know each other to
Discovery call.
I like that.
see if they like me and I like them.
Yeah.
So
I might not like you, so we'll just have to go our own
because
way.
I've had
Because it's got to
consultations
fit.
before when I suggested something, it's like it's a no. Or and then we just not on the same page.
gelling.
And you know what?
And it's I don't like the word, but it is a journey.
It is
These
a
people
journey,
you're going to be part of people's chapter for forever.
Well, so a couple of years ago, I was phoned by a couple that got married, a groom that got married 10 years before, and asked me if I could recreate their wedding cake for their 10th wedding anniversary. And that's the kind of relationships that I just love to have with my clients. And it's
a good husband to have as well.
It's
the kind of relationship I would like.
Noted, John. 10 years next year.
And it's just, getting to know them, and by having that discovery call, you get to know them and their why and their journey and little things.
What's important to them?
I've just designed a wedding cake for a couple. She's Ukrainian, and she wanted to bring something of her culture into, and she showed me this most beautifully embroidered belt with sort of colourful flowers. So that's going to just be like a ribbon around the cake. So it's incorporating little things. People don't have to know what the why, but it's there. I did another funny one a few years ago. They met on Bumble. So I did a teeny little bumblebee. But it was that sort of tucked
I had
away.
a pixie in mine.
Yeah, you did.
Just say something. Run out of ideas.
I got that. I thought, she's forgotten about the little pixie, and it was in with the flowers.
So it might just be a nod to the flower of the country, or
could it be? Could you put like a memory into the cake from like people that are not there anymore?
Yeah. So I did one last year. We were just having a chat, and they were having a monogram and didn't know whether to have LLD. I can't remember. DHL or LHD, and as soon as I said DHL, he said,
"Do you want it yellow as well?"
My dad worked for DHL and he's no longer with us, so it was DHL. So nobody knew it was there.
No.
They knew.
They knew. Yeah. That picture was for me for home. For people that weren't with me. And it was lovely to put something little in there. I did one last year at Hampton Court Palace, and he was from Baghdad and she was from Johannesburg. So I did a globe, and I had a little gold heart in Johannesburg and a little gold heart Baghdad. I saw this.
So it's this little...
Was that the one with the flower?
Yes. So that was the national flower of South Africa.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I bet you loved doing that.
I did.
Yeah,
I did. I've got another one coming up this year to
Have
make.
you?
Have you made any? Have you ever had like a request and you're like, oh my god, like a really weird cake that you've made?
Yeah, I have, but I can't remember what it is. I've done quite a few weird ones.
Have you done celebrity cakes?
Well, not celebrity, but I did 10 years ago or even longer. I think I was doing a lot of work for BBC for EastEnders.
Oh, right.
So one of my coolest cakes, I think, was a replica of the Queen Vic pub. And this,
I think I saw that.
And it was a big, the colours and everything, and Barbara Windsor sort of standing behind.
No way!
So that was pretty cool.
You did that cake?
Yeah.
I remember that cake.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was quite funny. I was so proud of the cake. It was beautiful because it was my first cake was going to be on telly.
Yeah.
So I did all the intricate flowers in the flower baskets, and they said it was too good because one of the other characters on the
We're going to smash it?
No, was supposed to have made it, so it couldn't look too professional. So I got these flower baskets and went like this in my hands and just put them back on and again. I broke my heart.
Yeah. How did that come about? How did they find you?
It's really who you know. It's where you are and who you know. I was just chatting to my neighbour's daughter in the garden, and she says, "Oh, she's a BBC, she's a prop buyer and for EastEnders, and if they ever need any cakes, I'll let you know." So I went to did loads. Yeah.
Did you go on set?
I did. Yeah.
What was it like?
So it was pretty cool.
Who did you meet?
I got. I didn't actually meet any of the characters, but I was there while they were filming and. Sort of,
did you use the toilet?
I don't think I did. Yeah.
Well, that's what you do, isn't
and
it?
then do you remember the episode
with the toilet paper? That's what the Spice Girls did. They stole toilet paper. Denise Van Outen stole toilet paper.
Really random. So years and years. So my dad does bodywork on cars. When the Spice Girls were big, he done all of their Lamborghinis. And in Baby Spice's Lamborghini, she had little jelly babies, and my dad ate some.
Oh.
And I used to think I was like the coolest kid in school.
I did do a celebrity cake. I did a cake for Christian Horner. That was about 10 years ago for Red Bull.
Yeah.
The year they won the
Formula One
and the structural, the drivers and the structural championship.
Yeah.
And it was also coincided with his 40th birthday.
Oh my god, fantastic! There you go. There's your Spice Girl link. Well done, you.
That's what reminded me.
Well, my dad.
So can we talk about your flowers?
Yeah.
You blow my mind every time I see your creations. We'll just, if we can scan.
I still don't believe it, so I'm not looking because
I
can't get my head around how that's not a flower.
The flowers that are actually on, and leaves that are on this cake here are edible. They are sugar flowers.
Yeah.
And you
They're
make
not real
those.
flowers.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
So I love making the sugar flowers. It's my happy space. I just binge watch Netflix while I sit in my little cake cave.
I suppose you really need to concentrate.
No, I listen.
She's watching Netflix.
Yeah,
she's watching. No, she's not. She's watching us.
Yes, I am now. Where were you last summer?
Sorry. It's one of my questions from a bride. Sorry, Lauren. They really want fresh flowers on their wedding cakes, but Mum is telling them no.
Okay, I love fresh flowers in wedding cakes, and I love using fresh flowers in wedding cakes.
Right.
But
I'm actually is that a big but?
I'm just writing a blog at the moment, actually. So there's new legislation or guidelines coming out, apparently, and I think it might be March or possibly May this year, from the Food and Drug Administration.
We're in February at the moment, recording this, aren't we?
Yeah. So
1985.
I wish.
Take that away.
So you have to be really, really careful about what flowers you use. So yes, have fresh flowers in your wedding cake.
Contamination.
So many, are
bugs?
Toxic. So many are toxic. So you see cakes covered in beautiful gypsophilia often, which is the baby's breath, the little white white flowers. Eucalyptus, which is a really popular wedding flower. Ranunculus, most lilies are all toxic. Hydrangeas have got cyanide in them. Delphiniums you can't use, they're toxic. So why would you want to put something toxic on a food item?
Okay.
Because a wedding
what
cake...
you think of your guests.
No, it's not
This
true.
tea is all for you.
Poison the husband.
This is for the in-laws. Why do they call it baby's breath?
Is
it because it's meant to smell like a baby's breath?
It smells like cat pee.
It does smell like
baby breath is cute.
Yeah,
normally.
It smells like cat pee. So I don't know. So there's lots. So and that's the one thing, toxic flowers. So you need to know. Your cake maker needs to know.
She said her mum just said that the flowers will be dead by the time you go into your reception.
Yeah. So there's it's again.
It'd be like Miss Marple who did it. Right, we're taking this away. Give her on the sugar in a minute.
Get out!
Out my palm. Sorry, Erica.
So back to being serious about the cakes and things. So one thing, toxicity. So there's lovely, lovely edible flowers, and there's loads of food safe or food contact or non-toxic flowers which you can use. The preparations, I always wash my flowers in a very mild solution of Milton to get rid of the bugs, get rid of the insecticides, pesticides and things as well.
Do they dry okay?
They're fine, absolutely fine. Okay. And then another thing is to work with your florist and work with your cake maker to make sure, you mentioned them being dead by the time you get to cutting the cake, using the flowers that will actually last longer and be okay out of water.
Yeah, it was actually somebody who'd messaged me last week asking about flowers and that, and putting them in water for the wedding, and most florists will recommend that flowers are taken out of the vases out of the water about 20 minutes, half an hour before the ceremony, because the girls are holding it, and if they're in a dress like our Nola there, they're going to end up with a wet patch. Yeah, a wet patch.
I can't believe they're not real flowers. They look amazing. Why do you want real flowers when you can get
because
edible
it's
ones
a
like
lot
that?
More expensive, because one rose, just an ordinary garden rose can take me an hour to make minimum.
And how much would that be?
£25, but anything between £15 and £25, depending on the size, the colours, the graduation of colour, and all that sort of thing. Is
that why you had a meltdown with mine?
Yours are okay. Yours are little cut-out flowers. They weren't. They were
tiny though.
They were tiny, and that was okay. It was
thousands.
But a fancy flowers like a ranunculus or a David Austin rose can take 2 hours. A peony can take 2 hours to make.
Do you follow like pictures and stuff like that?
Yeah, I try and work from real flowers if I can, or just tutorials or.
And
how got to Google? Yeah.
How far in advance would you make these flowers?
Oh, those flowers there are probably about 3 years old now.
Oh,
they're sugar, so as long as they're treated properly, because they're really, really fragile. Yeah. Saying that wafer paper flowers are becoming very fashionable these days.
Right, but they're not going to last that long, are they?
They will, as long as they're kept dry. They'll last, so and you can move them around, and they're flexible, so they'll be okay.
So I'm thinking about. After the wedding and things like that.
Yeah, you can keep them.
I was going to say, you can keep them. You could actually frame them for your parents. And
or you can keep them for the child's christening cake.
Yeah. So it is an investment.
It is, and it's artwork. You're paying for artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I honestly, the guys were like, geez.
I still can't get my head around it. Is there anything you cannot cook?
I once tried a standing up tigger. And it went horribly wrong.
As in TIGG.
Yeah. But I've learned since then, so now I would be able to do a standing up tigger nowadays.
Are you a good, just so I know, obviously you bake, are you a good cook in general? Can you turn your hand to any meal?
I knew, that's what I thought the answer was going to be.
But are you good at cooking?
We've talked about this lots, haven't we?
I can cook. No, I can cook.
Yeah.
I just find it really boring.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'll cook for a dinner party when I've got a reason to cook.
Just everyday cooking. Yeah. So what, you've got... your wedding anniversary coming up. So your 30th.
30th, yes, on Monday.
So are you doing the cake?
No, I'm not having a cake.
You're not having a cake?
No, my husband doesn't eat cake. I mean, he's had some cake overload for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
And even the kids don't even eat cake now.
Did you not make him a birthday cake recently?
No, I know what you're referring to. His 50th birthday cake. Yeah, he got Colin the Caterpillar.
You can't beat a Colin.
It was
obviously you
made it. No, I bought it from M&S.
Oh, good one. What, so you coming up
Marks and Spencer's, if you want to advertise on our podcast.
So if you've been married 30 years, what is your secret? What do you think is the secret to a
Patience.
Patience.
Yeah.
I thought you meant passion. And I was like,
no, he's like
patience.
he's probably going to kill me for saying this. He's like my big fluffy slippers. He's comfy and he's familiar and he's just...
But he would say the same about you.
Oh, I don't know. I do his head.
She's my fluffy slipper.
But I see, what people don't see when they come to these wedding shows, behind the curtain
he's
stuff.
So good.
We're turning up in our pyjamas. We're ill. We've lost people in our lives the day before. All these things that are happening in our lives. But we get into those rooms and we have to make this room pretty, and we have the show goes on.
Yeah. And not that smile.
But the moment that those doors open, at 11 o'clock,
But as soon as you speak to the people and couples who come around the wedding fairs, I can't shut up because I just love their journey. I love the fact that they are looking for a venue or looking for vendors or looking for suppliers and everything, because their day is so important, and your wedding journeys or your whole wedding life and your married life starts from when you really meet, and then you get engaged, and then you start looking for venues, and it's the whole wedding planning process, because the day will go by so quickly. And you'll think, it's over. But if you enjoy the 18 months or a year or 9 months or whatever.
Or the 6-year engagement.
Yeah, the 6...
It's not about the wedding day sometimes. It's the A to the B, and people get lost in the preparation.
And people get stressed planning their wedding.
Yeah. And let people interfere.
Don't get stressed on, doing your wedding.
Do you get interference from people, but from with the cake and stuff like that, other than the couple? Do you?
Sometimes. I had a mother of the bride recently. It really actually wound me up quite a lot.
Well, tell us all about it,
Erica. The posture's changed. She's like, I'm going to take this scarf off.
She was making her daughter's wedding cake, which was lovely. She was a cake maker.
Oh, okay.
But not a professional one, but she made cakes.
Okay.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I just love that.
She didn't get paid to make wedding cakes for other people. She did. She was a hobby baker.
Yeah.
Nothing like this. I'm amazing.
Amateur. And you start somewhere.
Amateur.
No, as in professional, being paid for her services.
Yes, a business.
So she then got stressed and couldn't cope with doing the cake for her daughters.
We've had this with
I bet
Mum's
Netflix
tailoring.
wasn't on and all relaxed. And...
So she wanted a vegan carrot cake. The whole cake had to be vegan. So I said, that's absolutely fine. Then she wanted vegan carrot cake. So that's absolutely fine. I've got some lovely recipes and what's in it. So I had to give the whole breakdown of what was in the vegan carrot cake. And she didn't like the idea that there was apple cider vinegar or vinegar in the cake. Mm-hmm. But vegan, you don't use eggs. So you've got to have something to cause a chemical reaction to give the mixture to rise. So you do a mixture of baking powder or bicarbonate of soda and vinegar, which causes the reaction, the bubbles, and for it to rise. She didn't want vinegar in the cake because it would make the cake taste vinegary. So she wanted to give me her recipe, and I had to bake her recipe.
Right.
And
then if it didn't work for her, how's it going to work for you?
And then I mentioned oil. She said, she didn't want oil in the cake. Can I use coconut oil? And she just micromanaged the whole process.
So what was her replacement for the vinegar?
She didn't want me to use vinegar. So I said, well, if you want a pancake then instead of a cake.
Yeah. So how did you manage that in the end? What was the end?
I would have put an egg in it.
I just said,
have that.
No, I didn't put any eggs in it. I was very well behaved. And I baked her a lovely, lovely cake. But I just explained to her that the reasons why and the chemistry behind it. And she did understand in the end.
In the end, yeah. It's educating, isn't it?
I feel like your scientific background is
can't argue with it.
I think
amazing
it's helped.
for the cake.
Yeah.
Just all I've heard is like you saying all the different chemicals and it makes such a difference.
It's understanding.
You really know
if you understand the art of baking, then you can bake a good cake.
Yeah. And this is why you teach it.
Yeah, I love teaching.
So this is another. I don't know how you fit time in. I know you say about me fitting time in, but you're doing everything.
I'm not running marathons. I've done a half.
Beekeeping, allotments, running a business,
podcaster.
Yeah.
So tell us about your teaching career.
Well, I haven't taught formally for a while, but I was trained at Brooklands College. So go back to when the kids were little.
Yes.
I felt like if I'm selling cakes, I need to do it a little bit more professionally. So I went and did a 3-year course at Brooklands College in Weybridge. Yeah. And then 10 years later, my tutor retired, and they asked me. I still remained friends, so they asked me if I would not take over, but just become, go and teach. So I went and joined the team at Brooklands College and taught there for 6 years. Wow. So that was really lovely. And then I didn't have time to do both. It was quite stressful trying to do the wedding cakes and do my own work as well as teaching. And the student numbers were sort of dropping down a little bit as well. So my hours were dropping and then it sort of came to an end. But so I do a lot of one-to-one teaching of people sort of want to know bits. And I recently did a really lovely corporate gig for a big pharmaceutical company. Yeah, Heathrow. I went in for their Christmas gig and they wanted me to do a cupcake workshop over the whole day for 250 people. So we just set up a workstation and all the people just came in and just made Christmas cupcakes for the day.
Fantastic. It was really did you have to bring all the stuff or did they supply?
No, I supplied everything. That was So running a cake business, you're not just a cake maker. You are everything, logistics and.
So we need to talk about brides and that. So you do these cake. You do these lovely boxes for couples.
Yes.
And can I open it?
Yes, sure.
And they're tasting boxes. Talk us through it.
So if a couple inquire, if they've booked their cake already, they're complimentary. So they get to taste the cakes. It shouldn't be that difficult to open.
These little forks.
Oh, wow.
Tea bags.
See, they get forks. Look at that.
English breakfast. You can't beat. So I love the bubbles. Tea and cake.
Tea and cake. I know. Well, I can't post bubbles, but I can post tea bags.
So that you post these out.
Yeah, so I post. So some people want to try before they buy.
I remember these in lockdown.
Yes.
You were doing these.
And then I just post them a box of cake samples.
Oh, there's the elderflower.
I don't know whether the guys can see it. So what have we got here? What's this one?
I think I haven't got my glasses on.
Sandwich. You'll read them. I've got my glasses.
Raspberry and white chocolate. Raspberry and white chocolate is really popular as well.
Victoria sponge, raspberry and white chocolate, lemon and elderflower, lemon, and chocolate fudge.
Fantastic. So these are complimentary if they've already booked you.
Yep. And then if they want to try before they buy, they
good. So which one do you want to start with?
This is someone's box.
No, it's yours.
Yeah. Can I have the lemon, please?
We'll share the lemon, shall we? We'll open it well. So, how much are these boxes?
They are £35, including post and packaging. I send them out on a Wednesday for a Thursday delivery. So, 24-hour delivery. Yeah. So they're nice and fresh.
I think that's really good because you're not going to get this anywhere else, and also
it's nice to try. And
try before you buy, because they don't know you.
They have one box and they want to try some different ones as well, so they can then order a second box
it's educating people as well because you get offered chocolate, fruit, lemon, and vanilla. Those are probably the 4 out there, but you're saying no. Actually, you can do the variations and these and these. Hurry up.
Oh my god! Just smell it first.
Oh my god! My husband's gonna be gutted.
Whenever I smell lemon, I feel like I've instantly had a shower. It just makes you feel so clean and fresh.
You have to put
They're very well wrapped. No.
Oh, I don't need a fork.
Just dive straight in.
Pinch a bit there. So this is which one's this? The lemon?
That's the lemon.
The lemon. And are you using real lemons in this?
Yes. So I grate the zest of the lemon into the cake, and then a lemon drizzle, and then a...
Oh my God, that just melts in your mouth. God, you don't need a baguette now, do you?
Mm. So you've got the sugar rush and you've got the bubbles.
Oh my God, that's so nice.
That's the quietest we've ever been.
He's frothing.
On ours.
Oh my goodness.
Boys upstairs are going, give me the cake. We have a game.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. You've seen the game, haven't you?
Yeah.
We're praying it doesn't land on the red. We've lost our questions. So you're going to play that with us.
Okie dokie.
That's fine. We've lost Laura. Before we play the game, we've talked to quite a lot of our suppliers, and I will only recommend suppliers that I know that have a really good network behind them.
Yeah.
And you have, I know, a fantastic network behind you, including me with a van if you need it.
Yeah.
We have to talk about, you're not just a baker, a wife, you're a mountain climber.
Oh yeah, that's almost 10 years exactly.
I saw the picture. You had short hair.
Yeah, I think I cut it off because I knew I couldn't wash my hair for 8 days on the mountain, 9 days
so
on
I
the
saw
mountain.
you before you were going to go.
That's just me.
So we flew out. I flew out the day after must be my 20th wedding anniversary then.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
It was 10
Was it a
years
big
ago.
birthday?
No,
it wasn't.
No,
I know there was something
no.
that was, so it must be a celebration of wedding.
Yeah.
So what made you climb it? Was it for charity or?
It was for charity, and I've never been into fitness, and I've never been particularly good at...
You were bricking it before you went, I remember.
I was, and the whole thing had actually happened at a cake show down in Farnham. Everything happens. And everything happens for a reason. It's something that I always wanted to do, but never ever thought that I would.
Yeah.
So at the age of 44, I was at this cake show, and the sponsors of the show were doing this, or no, the recipients,
right?
The charity that the show was supporting was Giving Africa, and which was they were building schools in Burkina Faso and empowering knowledge through education and wealth through education, and just the whole ethos just
powerful,
just was amazing. So I just got chatting to them and bought a raffle ticket, which I won. I never win anything, but I won the raffle that show, and they were doing a fundraiser for climbing Kilimanjaro to raise money for Giving Africa, and I thought, I was teaching at Brooklands College and everything else, so I didn't know if I could ever do it or anything like that because the dates wouldn't have worked. It was during February half term, so actually I had no excuses not to do it.
Right.
So I did.
You did it.
I did.
And we hurt ourselves.
We did. So 5 months before, how do you know all this?
Because I've worked with you.
So 5 months before, we did a training hike up Snowdon.
Yeah.
Coming down, I slipped. And I snapped my cruciate ligament and I tore my medial collateral ligament. So stupidly, because I'm pig-headed and everything's always fine, I probably should have been airlifted off the mountain, but I didn't. It took me about another 7 hours to hobble down with my friend Tina, who's a nurse.
Swore?
Probably.
A lot. That cruciate ligament happened to my other half.
Yeah,
you said it felt like an elastic
couldn't
band.
walk, so I was just walking, and then suddenly you just collapse.
Yeah.
So I got down eventually. But I knew that if I didn't do it then, I would never do it.
Yeah.
And I'd raised money, and I was just...
How much did you raise?
Not a huge amount, but a lot for me. I think I raised about 2,800.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
It's a hell of a lot.
And I self-funded, so every penny that I raised.
And people forget that. It's like me with the marathon.
Yeah.
I have to pay for all my entries and stuff like that.
The whole trip cost me, I think, about £2,000. And then
So you hurt yourself?
Yeah. So I
couldn't drive
or anything. So I was
but you could bake cakes.
After that, I was in a knee brace for about 18 months.
Yeah. So
but I managed to climb Kilimanjaro wearing a brace.
You did.
Absolutely.
But the network behind you got all those cakes to those weddings, and you didn't miss a wedding or the family. You comfy slipper guy.
Yeah. I had friends driving up to London to deliver wedding cakes and things up there.
And that's my advice to anybody booking any supplier. Make sure that they've got backup. Yeah. Always.
Even if you're not getting married, buy a box. Oh my God. I've been trying to be really professional and being like, the morning's great.
Professional on here.
I cannot eat that cake.
Spin the wheel, Erica.
Amazing.
I know I do. Just
a good old. That's it. Oh, a date story.
So, embarrassing date, your first date with your husband.
I'll do my first date, actually, because that's actually quite a sweet story. You know Wayne.
Yes.
He doesn't drink wine. He only drinks beer, and he only has ever drunk beer. We met in a wine bar.
What was he doing there?
It was just
pick up the lid.
No, he was there with a bunch of friends.
Wayne, he'd love that.
He was there with a bunch of friends. I went with a whole bunch of friends as well. And actually, I knew one of his friends.
Right.
So I got chatting to her, and she said, by the way, this Wayne is Erica. I was like, hi. And I thought he was actually with one of the other girls. So, and then all our friends left. So I ended up joining his table because, I wasn't ready to go home yet. And that was.
Oh, who asked who out first?
It kind of just happened. Because,
Where was your second date?
Second date was playing Risk at a friend's flat. So
Strip place?
No. And actually, I think I'd never played it before, but I think I won. So it was just four of us.
Yeah.
And we just had a great. It wasn't even a date. It was just because I still thought he was with this other girl. We just had a really good time.
Still not clarified yet.
No, so we didn't snog until a week later. So.
What was your engagement? How did he ask you to marry him?
Oh, that was amazing. So we went up on holiday to Lake Kariba in Zimbabwe, and he proposed on a little tender boat. So he's not romantic, but he is really romantic. He's lovely. Down at heart he is. So we were in a little tender boat. So we had a beautiful houseboat on Kariba, and we just went off and did a little bit of fishing and everything. And so he tied the ring to the end of the fishing rod.
Oh my God, that's risky.
No, I think he had. I can't quite remember, but anyway, we were together, and then he sort of reeled it in and proposed.
Oh, Wayne,
that was really lovely. I know.
That is brilliant.
Right, we are looking at these cupcakes.
Yes,
and you know how clumsy I am and how messy I am. These freak me out. Because they literally...
They are difficult to eat.
They are very difficult. How do you eat them? Let's bring them up.
So, I can't remember. There was a celeb. I saw a little...
Look, you brought us nice plates and we just ate at the box. Do you have any tips on how to eat them?
Where have they gone?
I saw these on it was a TikTok video.
Oh, can we eat these?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to have one because I've only had one bit of cake.
So you can follow.
Okay, right,
I don't particularly want to eat this.
Are you going to teach me how to eat it?
Teach you how to eat it.
Okay.
I took it all.
This is where we get cancelled.
Stylish way. Okay.
Okay. Oh, right. So you just peel it. Oh, you peel it off. See, what I tend to do is just go straight in.
No, so you peel it off like that.
I eat it like an animal. I lick all the icing. I'm not
very. You can do
the opposite way. So how do you eat your cupcakes? So I'm not a fan of the icing, but I'm a fan of yours because I've eaten loads of yours. And what I tend to do then is stick it upside down and eat the cake first.
So you do this, then you just twist the bottom, and you actually twist off the bottom of the cupcake.
Eh?
Oh, I think I'm too far in.
Hold on, I'm doing it. Oh, this is going to go horrible.
No. Okay, you've got to hold the cake. So you're just twisting.
I'm holding the cake.
Here, I'm not that
I've done it.
Look! Then you make like a little sandwich.
Yes, I've seen this.
Oh.
Sharon's like, oh, and she's
like that.
Yeah, but you basically break it in half.
You haven't even done yours.
You literally just reversed the icing.
And then you just eat it like a sandwich.
You do it then.
No, because I'm too scared.
No. You have to do it now because you challenge.
Right.
Go on, challenge.
So I'm taking off this.
And then you don't get all icing up your nose.
Okay, so I am twisting the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've I've done it.
And then you make a little sandwich.
It's like a little Big Mac.
Yeah.
Take it out of the thing. No, Big Mac.
And then you eat it. I wish I could remember what celebrity it was, but how to eat.
I know exactly. I remember seeing it
or something like that.
That was
I think it might have been.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Then you just bite into the cupcake.
This is probably a good time to ask you how couples find you.
So, lot from social media. I'm very excited. I'm actually rebranding at the moment. I've got my new logo, busy with a new website. So all very exciting. So
it's important to rebrand.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, just anyway. So you can find me on Instagram, Iced Innovations, Facebook as Iced Innovations, my website www.icedinnovations.co.uk.
Perfect.
This is
fantastic. How much are your cakes? On average,
it really.
I know they're all different.
It varies hugely. I do have a minimum spend of $6.50. But if your cake comes below that, you can always top it up with wedding favours or gifts for family, cupcakes,
and you do
all that
biscuits
sort of thing.
as well, don't you? Because they're getting really popular now.
Yeah, so biscuits as place settings, so you can have personalised, so you can have like a heart-shaped biscuit, for example, with your guests' names on it. So that doubles really as your place setting, so you don't have to do two.
Oh, so, fantastic. Donut walls out?
Donuts walls, I don't do them, but yes, very popular. And they're perfect for people who don't want to be... who
Vogue said that they're out. It's saying crisp walls are out.
Crisp walls, okay. Yeah. And you can have brownie towers, you can have...
cookie cakes I've seen.
Yeah,
loads.
Cupcake towers. You can have all sorts of things to suit your budget. So you don't have to have a fancy pants wedding cake, but if it's important to you, have one.
Yeah.
But
there are alternatives, lots of alternatives.
Exactly. You can have a cheesecake. You can have that's quite popular as well. Yeah.
You don't like cheesecake?
The smell.
But cheesecake. No, you can have a round of cheese.
Oh yeah, okay.
Another round of cheese.
Like a New York cheesecake.
A round of cheese.
Right,
cheese, savoury cheese.
Yeah, that's what
cheese.
Well, on that note, you're going to say goodbye.
Oh,
thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Lovely. Yeah.
You've been a superstar. Thank you. So much information for the bride. You're such a sweetheart. Thank you. And thanks for the cakes. Right, you're going to finish the show.
I look in here.
I would have done it better.
Thank you for listening. I froze.
It's not that easy, is it?
No, and we need subscribers. Look how much I've drank. We need subscribers, so please subscribe
to our channel. Thank you.
Even if you wanted just a little cake day, this is your woman. And they're amazing.
And tune in next week. We've got a surprise guest.
Oh.
Ooh.
And we're gonna be drunk.
Bye. Say bye, Erica.